Why is the LSAT-Flex such a shit show, Ben? Have you been hearing horror stories?
No, I've put my head down as
Yeah,
as
you're
we
working
we
on the
talked about.
demon development. I've been in the trenches more with the students. Eric at LSAC, nice guy, sends us these long emails telling us how great the LSAT-Flex is going. He's protesting too much, and the actual word on the street is this Proctor U continues to be just such a shit show. I can't tell you how many people have had so many problems. They have
What?
problems getting set up
Mm-hmm.
in the first place. They have
Okay.
problems connecting to Proctor U. They have
Mm-hmm.
problems in the middle of the test getting interrupted by their proctors for whatever reason. The proctor's like, hey, I can't see your camera anymore. Or they shifted in their seat. So when you take the test, you actually can't see a monitor of yourself. You know how, as we're doing recording this in Zoom, you can see a little tiny picture of yourself so you can make sure that you're still centered in the frame.
Yeah.
But people taking the test on a laptop, especially, they go like this with their camera, tilted up. And now all of a sudden, all you see is the very top of their head. Or they go
Yeah.
like this, and now all you see is their body. Or
Thanks for the examples. I like it.
or the lighting changes in the room.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're backlit, or there can be noise distractions as well. Like if you've got, like my nieces and nephew running around here tearing everything up. If the proctor comes in and hears in the background
Mm.
talking, then they think you might be cheating and they come in and interrupt you. When they interrupt you, the clock still keeps ticking.
Mm.
You're like talking to the proctor in the middle of your timed section.
Jeez.
Um, I had, I'm sorry, but I got to say what I've heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
A student logs on, talks to her proctor. The proctor has her go into her Law Hub account and wants her to launch prep test, or he launches for her prep test 73 out of her Law Hub account. So that's one of the freely available, like that's in the LSAC marketing thing, whatever, right? It's on Law Hub for free.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Prep test 73. So she like starts doing prep test 73.
What?
And then she's like, wait a second, I don't think this is right because I've seen the test before. Proctor, oh, no. Yeah, keep doing it. Yeah, that's the test you're supposed to do. What?
This is when
How?
this is when you shut up and just keep going. Oh,
No.
I guess it won't get
Well,
submitted.
right. There's no way that was going to turn into an official, because I mean, that's what she was thinking. She was like, this is either the best thing that ever happened to me or
Yeah.
the worst. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the worst, of course. So she just keeps protesting and finally gets a supervisor. Then an hour later, the supervisor comes in and goes, oh, right. No, that's not correct. Okay, here, let's connect you to the actual real test.
Hmm.
I've heard of a ton of people unable to take the test because of connection issues or whatever.
Hmm.
I've heard of people, yeah,
Are
just
these proctors based overseas? Do we have any sense of that? Are we?
every report I have heard makes it sound like they are not in the United States. I mean,
Yeah.
why would they use Americans would be a lot more expensive to use, presumably, than
I don't know. Just curious. Yeah. Just I mean, adding to
Brazilians
the
or whatever. So,
connection issues.
oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's that would be funny, wouldn't it, if it was actually the proctor who was having a hard time connecting. I don't think that that's the issue. I just think it's that people have various, I mean, I could see how it could be a hard problem for them to solve. Everybody has a different internet connection and you're trying to monitor. But someone in my class last night came up with a brilliant solution for
Mm.
half of these problems.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, every class I ever took in college, the test is recorded. I'm
Mm.
recorded as I'm taking the test.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the test, if there are any
If there's any
issues,
problems.
right?
Yeah, that's interesting because you also mentioned earlier that the proctor sometimes comes in and
Yeah.
hears things. So that means the proctor's
Yeah.
not always there. So
Right. So they're doing is they're like dipping in and out anyway, which makes
yeah,
sense that they don't need to monitor you all the time. They just need to come in and out when you have
the
no way of
risk
knowing.
of being caught.
Right. And but now what they're doing is if they hear something, they're like, "Wait, excuse," and they like break into your test
Yeah.
and ask you to fix the noise issue or fix the camera issue or whatever. And instead, it could just be flagged. They could just let you proceed,
Hmm.
flag it, review it later. And if you know, like they could also like check to see if your score is anomalous or
For sure. They could do the
whatever.
regression analysis, see if something's
They
strange. And
they already
even if it's
take three
not, yeah.
fucking weeks, so why not? you
That's a
know?
brilliant idea, actually. It's a brilliant idea. And
I
if
know.
there's
I
any
was like,
problems,
oh
yeah.
yeah, boy, I that would be a better way. But no, they're live
You could
proctoring
also
it.
like you wouldn't have to worry about the time that they take it, right? They're all trying to coordinate with the proctors, and that's why there's certain times you could just
Right.
say, "Hey, everybody's taking it at the same time. We're recording everybody, and we'll just pay people to then systematically,
Right.
efficiently go through the video, probably skipping every 10 minutes or something. I have no idea.
Right.
But they have some random algorithm and they go check and they're like, yep, these all look good. You could even probably automate it. You're just like,
Right.
was there something in the background? Was there not? Was there sound? Was there
Right.
not? And then have
Instead of
a
the
human person.
obviously haphazard way in which they're doing it.
Yeah.
Um, you know that also everybody's not getting the same test now.
Yeah, I'd heard rumors about that, but I didn't know what to make of these rumors because they've been around for years,
Yeah.
before the LSAT-Flex. So yeah,
Well,
what's
right.
the
If accommodated students taking the test on a different day,
yeah.
there have been some situations where people aren't getting the same exact test. But now with the Flex, it's clear that everybody is getting a different. There are like 4 or whatever different versions of the tests. And what
Hmm.
I've heard so far is that like, yeah, oh yeah, there's one of the sections of games out there that's like super duper easy, and then there's other ones that are harder. And so I agree. I think they think they're doing the best they can. Um, they could just do better. I don't
They
know.
could do better. And what's interesting is your student made that recommendation, for example, about recording. And it's like, oh, well, we should get that information to them. They're the ones who've been sitting on this for a long time. They should have been talking to people and exploring these ideas long before your student thought of it. I mean,
Well,
as much as I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't think about that idea. At the same time, it's like, yeah, this is your job and you've been toying with this. I'm surprised you hadn't heard someone suggest that.
no, and this is a student who actually took college exams using Proctor U before the Flex even existed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Proctor U has this capability and does
Mm-hmm.
proctor some exams in this
Wow.
method,
So
but
someone made this decision. They were
seems
presented
like
with
it.
these
Yeah,
choices, and
I
they
would
said,
think so.
"Okay, let's go with the human solution," which then would require multiple tests because they have to spread the tests out, and would require them to go to a 3-section test because now they don't have the bandwidth
And
to offer
I would
4 sections.
presume it's more expensive to do. So it kind of sounds like Procter U might have sold them the most expensive option and they went with that. Whatever, we're purely speculating. There's got to be lots more going on that we don't understand. But um,
That's true, but this has been also a problem throughout LSAC's history, right? We've been scratching our heads for so many decisions that they've made
yeah,
over and over and over again. Remember in 1999 when we had that episode about them exploring a digital version of the LSAT? That was in 1999.
2009.
1999. I'm pretty sure about that. I'm pretty sure
Well,
about that.
I didn't take the LSAT until 2007, so I don't think it was in 1999.
I don't understand like how when you took the LSAT is relevant. Remember we found that newsletter. and
Oh,
they said that they
I
had
thought you said,
raised the.
my bad. I
Yeah,
thought
go
you
ahead.
said an episode that we did in 1999. I was like, the podcast did not exist in 1999.
No, was I wearing diapers then? I don't remember. It was 1999. Okay, yeah. No. There was a newsletter that we got that was from LSAC. It was like to their board members or something like that. And in it, it had discussed how in 1999 they had raised this issue of whether or
Oh,
not to go
I see.
digital with the LSAT and then shut it down. It's like they've had so many opportunities to do things right and not done them right.
Hey, the GRE and the GMAT give you your scores instantly, and they have for decades.
Yeah,
That's a fact, right?
that's a
I
fact.
mean, the LSAT, you have to sign up 6 weeks in advance to take a super fucked up, broken test. And then hopefully, if they don't lose
And then
it,
wait 3
3
weeks.
weeks later, you get your score.
Yeah.
What year is it? I mean, I get it that COVID, made them hastily. I mean, it's actually, the Flex, they weren't doing it online until COVID. Now they're doing it online because of COVID. I mean, it's not GRE and GMAT are not online either, right? They are in these testing centers where professionals handle the administration of the test. It's really horrible. I mean, it's so miserable for the customers, right? For the students, for the applicants.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting 3 weeks to get your score back
Yeah.
sucks. I remember when I had to wait for my score. It totally sucked.
Yeah, I remember I actually got my score in the mail. That was, I mean, that's just weird too. And the whole, like, they gave me the whole test because it was a disclosed test, right? So it's like, here's this like
In the
phone book
actual
paper.
physical mail.
Yeah, in the
Wow.
mail. It was like an 8.5 by 11 envelope or whatever, nine
That
by
was a
12.
few years, I guess, before I took mine. Mine definitely, I got it. I got an email and I logged on to a thing. That was in 2007. Yeah.
I still remember the street. I was in my car when I opened the envelope, and it was, yeah, it's interesting. I was very curious. What the hell is my score? What did I get?
Weeks later.
Yeah.
Well, and now they're basically forcing you, if you want to go to school this cycle and if you want to get your application in early, now they're like forcing applicants to take multiple overlapping tests because the registration deadline is so far in advance and the scores don't come out until so far after the test that now if you're waiting for your August results, you already should be signed up for the October test. And if you're going to take the October test, then you should also have to sign up for November because the windows overlap. And it's like, come on, guys, how hard is it? It can't. I whatever. But maybe it's a bigger problem than I think it is. But I got to think that we could solve that problem. It doesn't seem that tough.
Especially when you consider the amount of money they're throwing at it. Like, a lot of decisions are hampered by finances, right? But the money that they have to throw at this is insane, especially the
Got
money they poured into to Surface Goes and all that.
got over 100,000 tests administered per year at $200 a pop. I mean, I guess
Mm-hmm.
there's like 6% of them or whatever that get the fee waiver, but most people pay $200 every single time they take this test. 100,000 times $200 is $20 million of revenue just from the tests. For
And that's
$20
not
million.
mentioning the CAS and all the other fees that they charge for random stuff. So, and the royalties that they've been getting for years and the royalties that they're now getting through Prep Plus. Where's all that money going?
I don't
And
know
they
where
got a
the money.
PPP loan.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a totally intractable problem. This seems like something that they could solve somehow. And there's multiple other solutions besides what they're doing right now. But again, it's a monopoly. People don't have a choice, and it's an organization run by a bunch of lawyers, so they tend to move extremely slowly. they're worried about getting sued or whatever, I guess, but they just, I don't know. I just feel so bad. I'm like looking at my class and I'm like, God, sorry guys. I feel you, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's just awful.
Yeah, people
Last
ask
night,
all the time, should I sign up for this test? And I'm like, sign up for it. You got to pay the $200 to have the option to take it, because you won't know for a month
yeah.
whether you should.
I mean, and last night in class, because it's such a shit show, people like they're still in class after they've already taken the official test because they're not sure how it went, and because law schools only care about your highest score, and so most people benefit from taking it multiple times. But like, of the people that are there in the Zoom last night, of the people who already took it, like half of them had some kind of a glitch
Hmm.
where it took them an hour just to get connected to the proctor, and so they were like hungry by the time the test started, you
Okay.
know, or they got interrupted because there was some background noise and the proctor broke in during their section, and they had 2-3 minutes to talk to the proctor and like confirm that. um what did someone say? Oh, the proctor, instead of talking to them, the proctor just took control of their mouse and started moving the mouse around the screen to try to
Oh.
get their attention, basically. Like, I don't know if the proctor was also sending them a text message or something, but the student looked up and all of a sudden the mouse was moving around on their screen. And I think what it was is they apparently, it looked as if they weren't looking at the camera. And so the proctor did this, and so then it like got their attention or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm just hearing so many of these weird stories, and I don't know. All right.